shine.
Just let your soul glow.
Just let it shine through. Just let your soul. For all of y'all who don't know, that was Coming to America.
If you don't know that it was Coming to America, be mad at your parents. Yeah. That's who you be mad at.
Or your older siblings.
We're going to get another speech from OT about your history.
Well, let's hope not.
Welcome back to Condone Yourself, where we're here to talk about All-Star Season 7, All Winners, Episode 10 now. Yes. The second to last challenge before the lip sync Lollapalooza. Oh, that was a lot. I did good. That was
you
good.
did. I was very proud of
you. I'm Joe. We have OT.
What's up, people?
And we have Kelly.
Hey, everybody.
I like the roast episodes, so yes. I've always find them very entertaining. And in a season of all winners, very excited to see what the queens put together. Mm-hmm. I thought overall it was an entertaining episode.
Yeah, I thought it was a super strong episode. I really, even the places where it was like questionable were still funny to me.
Yeah.
I thought this was a fantastic episode, really all the way through from start to finish. I had a lot of fun, so I can't really wait. I can barely wait to just jump right in.
And we start off with Raja being so funny coming into the room.
I'm a scorned woman.
That was so good. The saunter over to the mirror.
I almost thought she was going to write something in lipstick. Like,
I did too. You're right. Yeah, that was the greatest of all of the entrances for the entire season with the plunger.
Yes. Everybody started to realize, oh no, there's only like this episode in the next, or this challenge in the next challenge.
Yeah.
People started doing the math a little bit and making some people nervous.
Yeah. It was sad mostly for Shea, because Shea is the sole queen with one challenge, and at this point, if Shea doesn't win both challenges, Shea is not in the final,
right?
Unless there's some major twist next week.
They're still away.
There's
a very small chance, but it is still possible.
So then, after the little like debrief, they finally did like not a mini challenge, but they finally did something silly and fun to pick the order of the roast.
Oh, that was super fun.
But they did that what in last season?
Yeah, with Georgia.
Yeah,
because she couldn't pop the much like Jinx.
Much like Jinx, yes. Jinx and
Jada just got up there and went for it.
That was so funny. She's so tiny.
Mm-hmm. But she got it.
I also, and how dare us not come to the forefront with this at the beginning of the episode, we must pay homage to the fact that we got to see our show's namesake, Kennedy Davenport. Like, without Kennedy Davenport, we would not have the name of our show, Condone Yourself. Exactly. So kudos to Kennedy Davenport for making a surprise appearance and having the show basically named after her. That's awesome.
And I mean, she has her own institute now.
Yeah.
Shade.
You didn't win on the show, but you're winning in life.
Yeah. Exactly. It was just really entertaining to see how the queens were really taking to this challenge and trying to think through things. I did not even remember that Jada nor Evie never have done a roast, in their season. And then it was interesting to have that reminder that although we know Trinity is a funny queen, she does terrible in roast. Yeah. So it was very interesting.
I also thought it was sweet that Jinx was like, Trinity, you help me with the design stuff. Like I can help you with, this is my wheelhouse, so I will help you.
That relationship has just become so endearing. I really, really like the two of them, and also Jinx and Monet. like you get to see a lot of moments where Jinx and Monet sort of steal off while they're doing their makeup and they're just bonding, and it's really sweet. So do we want to jump right into the challenge?
Yeah, let's get into it.
So because the challenge was on the runway, then we'll have to start with Mother Rue and her outfit, which for me was an ouch fit. I was not in love with this whole thing. It was too much for me this week. I was not feeling it. For those of you who haven't watched the episode yet, one, I don't know why you're listening to us because we're going to spoil everything. But this was the roast challenge and such a fun roast. I mean, there were so many fantastic moments. Let's just jump right in here.
I mean, you could barely hear some of the jokes because the judges were cackling.
And not only the judges, I was cackling. Like we had to go back so often because it was impossible to hear some of the jokes because we were laughing so hard.
Exactly.
Yeah, so let's start with the special appearance by Miss Wintergreen.
Yeah.
How fantastic and fun was that?
Yeah.
Right. And my favorite moment is when Winter is walking down the runway and she's smiling and giving waves to everyone. And then she goes, like completely exacerbated. It was phenomenal.
So
like
this was the cameraman who got made over by Peppermint?
Yes. He's such like the epitome of what you consider like manly man. Like he's such a dude outside of drag, and to see him completely surrender himself in this way to drag is so much fun. And it just makes him super endearing. And I am obsessed with Sarge, and his name is Sarge. Like how much more masculine can your name be?
My favorite part was when he recited Trinity's favorite runway speech when she did that outfit, and we're like, what the hell is this outfit? And then she had that whole story, and he just recited that, and then I crystallized. And I'm like, oh my god, it was hilarious. Also, the first season we all watched together.
That's
Truth.
Right.
Season
7.
Look at us.
Many moons ago.
Right. 30 additional seasons since then. We're still doing this. So let's get into the actual queens. And we start with Raja.
Ooh, that's a good picture of Raja.
Yeah, I liked her, her like extra long teddy. I thought it was sexy. I thought she looked good, with the rufflage. I thought she was pretty. Fashion aside, let's talk comedy. Thoughts, Kelly?
I thought she was great. And I know, I think Raja does the mean perfectly, where it's like, because sometimes people are just you completely mean and you're like, okay. But I think Raja has a way about her where she can pull that off. And I thought one of the cleverest jokes of the night was that one about Reseda. That is a clever joke.
I wrote down the things that I thought were the standout moments of the roast for each competitor. And when she said, me and Rue go way back, and I asked for her autograph, and that handprint is still on that cave wall today. Clap for that. Because as we talked about last week, we know we're going to hear Ross is super gay, Michelle's a whore, Rue is old, but it's being able to keep those old jokes, but somehow make them fresh and exciting.
I thought it was fun that they roasted each other.
Yeah.
I think this is way more fun than roasting the judges.
Yeah,
for sure, because they all know each other so well at this point, where there's a lot more material to pull from.
Yes. Although I will say that she set up the recurring joke of the evening, which was her musty, bad attitude Uber driver having more stars than Shea Coulee.
Yeah.
And we heard that joke
Yes.
multiple times.
Yes.
For Shea.
Oh my God.
But it was fantastic.
I love Raja, and I was very, very impressed with her roast. So
Yes.
great job.
Next up was Evie. Speaking of looking gorgeous,
Oh,
I
good
just thought this outfit I want to wear that to a beach somewhere, just like walk around with that draping off my body at a beach and then pull it off and have on like almost nothing. Like that was, she looked so gorgeous. That makeup was fantastic.
The lip color is so good.
I thought that little blue pussycat wig looked really good. I love the eye makeup, the earring. Like that outfit was phenomenal.
She looks great.
Yeah,
Yep.
Absolutely beautiful.
phenomenal.
She was the one. She was the only one that I really noticed how good she looked.
Yeah,
which is strange because I was just like, oh my gosh, Evie, like she was just giving me everything from with the look standpoint. So I would love this look as well.
Yeah, it was the same for me.
I liked how kind of conversational Evie was.
Mhm.
I like that kind of comedy where she wasn't looking down at her cards like a lot of the queens were having to do, and it was just very much like chatting, like you're bantering with somebody. And I thought that style really worked for her.
Yeah,
her jokes on Jinx were hilarious to me. And she's like, Jinx has also had work done. I'll give you a moment to look for it. She said her hairline, and she's like, it's interesting. Jinx thought like this is the part that needs,
right.
attention.
She's like, she said, Jinx looks at her hairline and goes, yeah, that's the problem.
Her impersonation of Jinx's voice was spot
on. It was so spot on.
Which made the joke even better.
She did a great job. She did a really great job. And an unexpectedly great job because we don't know Evie to be a person who tells jokes or even to be necessarily funny, right? She's fun. She's effervescent. She's open and expressive, and quirky, right? Yeah. But we don't know her to necessarily be funny, right? But this was a really good glimpse into yet another skill set that Evie Oddly has.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Shea Coulee.
She looks so good.
That pantsuit was so delicious. I wanted to drip it in chocolate and whipped cream and strawberries and then just devour it. It was so delicious looking.
And I'm glad that I think it was Michelle gave a special shout out to it because it was so good.
It was. I thought she had my favorite delivery of the night because it felt very like 80s comedy where it was set up, punchline, set up, punchline, set up, punchline, and it was rapid fire. She wasn't breathing, but it still gave you enough time to absorb the joke, to laugh at the joke, but then she was moving right along. And the way she was delivering it with this sort of arrogance and like snideness, but also this like air of better than you. It was really, really fun.
I liked Shea's performance, but it wasn't up to par with everyone else's. I liked her jokes on Jada. Jada is such a skinny little bitch, Yeah, I like that delivery. And it was funny. In any regular season, it would have been like the top. Just with these other winners here, I wasn't like out loud laughing with Shay.
Yeah, when she was finished, I was like, well, that was good, but not going to be enough to put her in the top.
Next up is Jinxie Poo. The talent in that body.
She is just stampeding her way through this competition.
Yeah.
She's dominating. And also, shout out, I do love this look too. Like I guess what is that, velour suit? And the like old kind of I Love Lucy hair, I guess. I think that's the hardest I've ever heard the judges laugh. So good.
I mean, I have to like literally grab my notebook Thank you for honoring me at this imaginary event.
Yeah.
RuPaul is the Rosetta Stone of drag. RuPaul has been edging Shangela for 10 years, and we're all complicit.
The Shangela
Yeah.
joke, I
That
forgot
was
about
good.
that.
That was
Evie's dick is so big that when she was doing a line of coke on it, she stopped to reflect, and then she thought, I've become my mother.
yeah.
There
That was
was
a good joke.
there's so many jokes in that one joke.
It
Yeah.
was
Right? Like you're
like
making fun of yourself, you're making fun of how big
your
Evie's
mother,
dick is.
the
Yeah,
dick,
it's just like
drug addiction, like because she's sober now. Like
it's
what?
layered.
That was professional level comedy.
Yeah.
That was like stand-up show HBO special level comedy.
And
Like,
the thing, and I think the judges said this, it's hard sometimes when it's like everybody expects you to kill. Like this is where you should shine. You should be the best. You
Mhm.
should, and sometimes that can like trip queens up, or they get in their head, or and not Jinx, never wavered. She knew she was gonna kill it. She killed it. Even more funny than I even thought it could be. Is amazing.
yeah, I mean, when it's right, it's right.
Yeah.
And when you got it, you got it. And that's what makes these people winners. And I can't wait to get to Jada so we can like further explore that. But
Yeah.
that's what makes these people winners, is that they know what they have
Yeah.
and they're not afraid of it. Right?
Mhm.
Because every season we have watched of this show, we watch great queens fall out of the competition because they cannot get out of their own way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And this is a season full of people who have not gotten in their own way at any point. Not one of them has gotten in their own way and gone, oh no, I can't do this, or this is out of my wheelhouse. Like every time they stepped up to the challenge, and that's why they all have
Yep.
winning
Right.
seasons under their belt. Jinx Monsoon, if this somehow finds you, honey, go on tour. Like do what Bianca Del Rio did. Yeah, do what Bianca Del Rio did. Take yourself on a comedy tour. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I really loved this roast. I thought she did a great job. This was the first one that I really like started to like laugh out loud and really start remembering things. One thing I will say though, I wish I could hear the full thing. I know they edited it out because I know Jinx went in on all the queens, and I wish we could hear like the whole version. But with that said, this was funny, but the next queen was the funniest for me.
Trinity the Tuck.
Yes, baby. She
Baby.
did the thing. She
One.
Redemption.
Yeah.
One, she looked gorgeous.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Those earrings are stupid. Okay? Those are so stupid. Those earrings are as big as her face.
And I love that I don't think we often see Trinity in like a brunette wig.
Very, very rarely.
And I think it looks great.
Yeah, she looks
really good on
beautiful.
her. Yeah, she killed it. That's the only note I had next to Trinity, is that she absolutely did so great that it messed up Monet's incoming line, because Monet was like, oh, she actually did really well. Monet had a really good starter, and Trinity did so well Monet could not start with her leading joke. I thought that was amazing. I like the fact that Trinity went in on every queen, almost every queen, like multiple queens.
She started out with a joke that confused everyone, which was really fun because she set it up to make it look like she was going to bomb when she said to the John F. Kennedy, and then you could see the people kind of like cringing. And then when she said Center for Disease Control, everyone sort of released like, oh, thank God. Thank God that was a joke and she's not already messing up. The next joke that really, really got me was the condom factory. The condom factory.
Yeah.
Did you see the throw that she gave to Simone? Yeah.
Well, and she said the one about like at least your mom delivered one good joke? Or
One good
Yes,
joke, yeah.
that was
That
to
was from
Monet.
Monet.
She was like, Monet's family is full of entertainers. Her mother delivered at least one joke, and then she points
that
to Monet.
was such a good joke.
Oh,
That
He was going in on Monet.
not my favorite joke of the night, though. My favorite joke of the night, Evie. Don't you let anyone tell you you're
Yes.
not pretty. You're not pretty, but don't let anyone tell you that. Yes, fan pop. That was everything. That
was
was
good.
that was the joke of the whole night for me.
And only she could deliver it that way.
Yeah.
Just like her twang and like her cadence, only Trinity could deliver that.
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah.
I just love a good redemption story.
Yeah.
And so like how good for her confidence in terms of like comedy that she killed it.
Good for you, Trinity. You were my second favorite of the night, but definitely fantastic. Like if Jinx was a 99.9, you were a 99.7. Like it was fantastic.
I'd say flip it, Trinity.
Ooh.
I like yours more.
That's because he didn't expect anything from you. I knew better.
What? Wait, don't speak for me.
Next is Monet Exchange. First of all, let's get into this fashion. Wow.
Yeah.
She
really good.
looks incredible. Like she did that. Notes on Monet Exchange, Kelly.
I mean, Monet is just naturally funny. And I think she does a really good job of just like being herself. Again, similar to like how Evie's was conversational. It's just like Monet just has a presence and you want to listen, and you are immediately in it. And I thought she did great.
Yeah, I mean, she's relatable. I also thought this was a really strong performance, like a winnable performance as well. My favorite thing, which was, I think it was a throwaway line, but it was at the end when she was introducing Jada, the Messence of Hall. I was dying. And so was Rue. Rue was like, did you hear what she said? Like, and also foreshadowing.
Yes.
So,
the Messence of Beauty was hilarious.
Yeah.
I also liked a couple of her other jokes. She discovered that she was also narcoleptic at Jinx's show. I thought that was cute and funny.
Wait, did she tell the joke? I heard that told the joke about Shea and like talking up Shea's been in all of these things and movie. Like she just kept it singular. And that cracked me up.
Yes, and her movie. Yes, that was her. Also, how are we not discussing It Gets Butter? Right? That was so fun. Good job, Monet. Good job on that. And next up is Miss Jada, the Messence of Beauty.
We were talking about, comedy and the differences. If I was to get up and try to do stand-up, I 100% believe I would be like Jada, where I would stumble over things, but then I would make fun of myself, which would be the funnier part. So I would be able to, like, I think at least do that. And like the judges said, she could have just quit, but she rallied enough and just went after her own self for being bad. And that made us all laugh, and so she salvaged what she could.
and that's what I was saying earlier about just these queens really knowing who they are and being so good at everything. Because if you think about, we have seen in multiple other seasons where people just sort of crack under the pressure and get smaller and just go, oh my gosh, like, let me hurry up and get through this. Jada just made her light even brighter. She's like, I know I'm messing up. I'm gonna let y'all know I'm messing up. So everybody pay attention to how I'm messing up, because it's hilarious that I'm messing up so badly. Right. So instead of shrinking, she just expanded. And that just like, that is the stuff that winners are made of.
Instead of cringy, it became endearing.
It's
a difference, right? When people are bombing and it's cringy, it makes me uncomfortable. Like I'm
Right.
just like, ugh. Like people in Snatch Game or some of the other challenges when they're really bad, I'm like, oh, this is so awkward. But it wasn't. She made it not, and I was here for it.
And that's also a comedy talent, right?
Mhm.
To be able to mess up, make a bad joke, and then be like, nope, I'm gonna salvage this somehow. I'm still gonna get something. And that was
you gonna laugh. You gonna laugh today. That's
yeah,
what you gonna laugh.
like
at
she
something.
forced us to laugh, even though she messed up all her jokes.
Yeah.
It was really, really fun to watch. It was
I don't think
really
she
fun
got
to
through
watch.
one joke.
No,
No.
at the beginning, she
Yeah, at the
did.
beginning, she got through her first two.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, the end of this joke was supposed to be that she's a mess, but that won't land right now. Yeah, no, Jada has always been very resilient when it comes to performing. So if something, happens, not really great in her favor, she's still able to kind of turn it out and change it up. I mean, think about her Snatch Game where she was Prince. She knew she wasn't given a good Prince, but she was just like, let me lean into it.
That's right.
let me figure it
And
out.
it was hilarious.
Oh my God, that was so funny though. It was
so
funny.
good. But and think about the look over there. Like I'm pretty sure, I'm like 88% sure that was an accident.
Oh
She
yeah.
didn't have anything.
I'm 100% sure that was an accident. But when she realized that it worked, because she was again stumbling in that moment, she was tripping up on her words, and then all of a sudden she just was like, "Look over there!" And when Jeff Goldblum was like, "What?" Like that was it. Everybody else lost it, and it was the combination, right? She always look over there to Jeff Goldblum because if he doesn't go, what? Right? Everyone else doesn't really fall into the joke in the same way.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, that I 100% think that was like spur of the moment. That was not planned. She just was like, oh my God, I got to do something to get out of this, because she started out on that in a completely different way. Yeah. And then she just was, because she was like, I'm Jada Essence for the bitches, by the bitches. But as she started stumbling, she was just like, confusion. Right? Because I think she was getting confused.
She was like, I don't know how to answer your question. Confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heidi, would you like to answer this question? Great. Yeah, you could call her like the Rumpelstiltskin of drag, right? Yes. Turning straw into gold.
Yeah.
You know?
And being able to go off the cuff when she needs to rally.
Yeah. So even though none of your planned jokes landed as planned. You were still very funny, Jada. Yes. I still laughed. I still had a great time watching you. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
And we love you.
Yes. And the
Vivian I thought was strong. I think she's a really good cleanup performer, like at the end, because remember she was at the end for the graduation.
Yep.
And so she's taking those notes and she's bringing it back. And she was like, thank you to all the queens for, bringing back up my addiction. After hearing the lot of y'all, I think I might pick it up again. It was really funny. She went in on Monet, being just like Bob the drag queen, but shitter.
Oh no, my second favorite line of the entire night was Monet had an internet show called the Monet Exchange. The show was meant to be a reflection of Monet's talent and personality, and sadly, it was. That was brilliant.
Yeah, she went good in on Monet, and I was like, dang.
It was so good. Also, I like when she said, this show is the who's who of who was available. Yeah, she was really good, but surprisingly not as good as I expected her to be. Was she great? Yes. Was she hilarious? Not really, not to me.
I think she psyched herself out a little bit, thinking that she had to change her humor, like Americans wouldn't get the English
Yeah,
humor.
I think that's what a lot of it was.
Yeah, and probably on her season, she wasn't thinking about that. She just
Right.
was being herself, and but I think she maybe overthought it a tad.
All in all, I think this was this was the strongest roast we've ever seen on RuPaul's Drag
Yeah.
Race because everybody was funny.
So on to the runway.
How amazing was this theme for the runway?
I can tell you what it wasn't amazing for: getting photos.
Yeah,
I didn't like the theme.
You didn't like it?
I liked the idea of it, but then actual seeing it, I was like, like if we were there in person, I think it would have been great. But because we were looking at it on TV, I was just like, I'm underwhelmed.
I loved it.
I thought it was fun too. Even when the outfits were lit up, it was really hard to see some of the detail. Like it was difficult. So
that
was my main thing.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. So we have Miss Raja, and I thought this outfit was really beautiful.
Yeah.
It was terrifying also. Those shoes looked so precarious. It was terrifying watching Raja walk down the runway.
I mean, as Joe said last week.
See, I didn't see any of this.
I was gonna say, as Joe said last week, if they were handing out like random stars, she should get a star just for being able to walk in those and make it back.
Yeah,
that was crazy. And she was really the only one that had like laser, like emitting light, like sending out light, not just like a lit up outfit.
Right.
She's just so artistic and a different level of fashion than everybody else.
Yeah. And that makeup, look at how beautiful her makeup looks in that still that I caught.
Always.
It just, I mean, that looks like woman.
Let me be your woman. Woman.
Normally you see whoa man, but that is woman. Okay? Like it's gorgeous. Love it. Evie Oddly. Like every week, I feel like for the last 4 weeks, I keep saying, this is the best Evie's ever looked on the runway.
Yeah.
This is the best Evie's ever looked on the runway. She looks gorgeous.
She does. I think this was my favorite for the theme because I could really see it. And like Evie impressed me completely. Like I was like, is that Evie?
Yeah.
You know,
she looked amazing.
Great.
That gown looked gorgeous. The makeup, the hit, like, oh, Evie, yes.
I hear Silky, you will never be glam, and I was like,
right. She is giving you nothing but glam all season.
Yeah.
She has found a way, like, as in her career, to like merge amazing beauty with odd. So I think like before she was leaning all the way to the odd end, and it was like not always glamorous, not always. But this is like, it's still like fungus, mushroom, like a quirky. Her hair was like moss, and also, but in a like the most fashion forward, glamorous way you can do it. So she's found a good way to merge those two, and I thought, I think one of the judges said that like the way it moved was amazing too. Like so, as she was walking, it looked so cool. She killed this.
The elevation of Evie Oddly, right? So everyone who were naysayers, like you see now, because she looks fantastical. Next,
Shea.
It's Shea Coulee.
I couldn't see like the makeup initially because a lot of hers was like just a glowing look, but then when they were doing the judging, the makeup looked fantastic. Forget it.
Yeah.
The only thing I wish is that like, well, maybe it wouldn't have worked, but that the boots had some sort of light something. Maybe that could be like the stem or like leaves or something of like the flower. But I mean, she looked gorgeous. She's ridiculous.
Yeah. This is just stupid. Like, why this outfit? Why does she look like that? Why is it so gorgeous? Why is it so flawless? Why was her makeup like that? Why did she have those stars on her face? Like, why Shea Coulee? Why?
Because she's Shea Coulee.
Yeah, like
that's it.
Gorgeous, amazing, fantastic, everything. Jinx Monsoon. This for me was one of my favorites of the night. And it was one of my favorites, one, because it was really beautiful. I thought it told a fantastic story, but also it was the only one that turned into something completely different when the lights went out. Right? We had this big, beautiful white gown, and then when the lights went out, it turned into red flames.
Yeah.
Like that was so next level to me. And then to have the wind on her shoulders blowing up the false flames, and I this was for me the standout of the runway, not because it was the most beautifully designed or constructed of the outfits. I actually think that honor goes to Shea, but it was just because the overall presentation from start to finish was so fluid. It was so fantastic, and you could follow it, and it was just really well done. Good job, Jinx.
Yeah, it was fine.
Joe hated this theme.
No, I didn't hate it. Yeah, I hated the theme.
The theme.
I really did. I think it would just. I didn't feel anything with this look. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was a good look, but I don't know. I just wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't whelmed. I was just watching it and ready for the theme to be over. No offense to Jinx. I mean, it's a good look. She looks good, and I know that this meant something to somebody. But yeah, this thing was just not entertaining for me.
Not for you. Not for you.
Level 7 shade.
Yeah.
Trinity, the way Joe just described how he felt about this entire theme and what Jinx was wearing is how I feel about this. This is messy to me.
I didn't like it either. This one was like a kid had made it, kind of like just really crafty. And again, if you're gonna do all lights, light up the wig too, or like do some. I don't know. I didn't like it.
This is just not what I've come to expect from Trinity. Mm-hmm. It wasn't giving me pageant. It wasn't giving me camp. It wasn't giving me glamour.
Right. Maybe it got injured, in the luggage.
That could be like something else happened on that, like was going on in the back, and she had to kind of fix it.
Yeah,
yeah.
She did the challenge, so there
she
you go.
did. She wasn't George's.
Just like everyone else did. Congratulations,
Monet Exchange. Now here was another moment for me, because as soon as she came out, even before the lights went on, I knew exactly where this gown was going. I knew this was going to be stars and constellations. I thought she looked beautiful. I love the blue lipstick.
Her makeup and like she looked gorgeous.
Yeah, she looks gorgeous. The gown is gorgeous. And then when it lit up and looked literally like a night sky.
Yeah.
I thought it was so well done.
I was going to say, and after like the over the top too many things happening Trinity, I really liked how understated this. It was beautiful instead of just like campy fluorescent ridiculousness. Yeah,
I agree. I thought Monet looked beautiful. I didn't get much glow, but again, I'm watching it second-handedly through the TV screen. Maybe it would be different if I was there.
But this makeup and wig,
my problem with this challenge.
yeah,
a real problem.
But she looked beautiful. Great job, Monet.
Yeah, she was beautiful. Jada, the essence of beauty.
This was another one that I really enjoyed.
This was some next level ish right here.
Yeah,
because the fact that gown was still moving and she could move under it, but her body looked like it was completely still because that entire mermaid is built into the gown.
Ridiculous.
The waves coming off her back also built into the gown. Her hair also looking like crashing waves. Like there are so many levels of amazing to this outfit. The glow in the dark waves, this was amazing.
Yeah,
Jada.
next level.
Amazing. This is how it is done, right?
Jada should get a star for killing the runway every week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every week.
And then the Vivian. I don't know how I felt about this either. Her hair, I hated it. Then I got it. Then I hated it more. And then I hated it. And then I liked it a little when I looked at this photo, like the still
Yeah.
image. And then when it started moving again, I hated it again. So I hate her hair.
So it's safe to say you have feelings.
Tons of them, and they're confused, like my
Mhm.
sexuality. And I liked the wings. I loved that they were flowy.
Yeah, the movement was cool.
I like that these were not static and they moved and they had a real flow to them, but I didn't love this outfit.
I think it would have been, I liked it better again when they were just standing there for like the judging. Like I like it not lit up. I thought it was cooler. And I think just the way the lights are placed on the body are weird. And I think it would have been better all one color, like white. All white would have been pretty.
Personally, and this may come as a shocker, I would have picked the Twinners as my top two, and not Jinx. And I think it's probably because I expect a lot from Jinx. But I did like the fact that the other two queens roasted more people, at least that I saw.
Right.
It's not to say that Jinx was not funny at all, but I just felt like more entertaining with the other two. So I was kind of hoping that they would win, but I knew Jinx was going to be in the top two. I just knew it. I was like, it's going to be Jinx.
Yeah.
Well, Jinx was so good.
You know? So it's just like, you know, yeah, but I mean, Jinx is so good, but I do feel like throughout this competition, when Jinx is so good and other queens are so good, the tie goes to Jinx. That's all.
I think she earns it. I mean, I don't know.
I do too.
Yeah.
I
With
think
the big thing that I'm referencing here is the courtroom. It went to Jinx, and I thought it should have been like Evie.
Yeah, that one they got wrong.
Yeah.
It was there was no tie there.
It was that last joke about the ear.
It was.
Yeah.
And I get it, but it's just like, you know.
Yeah.
And also I hate that challenge. So there you go.
That challenge was so fun. Anyway.
So Trinity, Jinx lip sync. Jinx knows she's not going to win a dance off. So she finds other ways to lip sync that are still entertaining. I found myself chuckling at her little lad kind of dancing.
Yeah, I was completely enwrapped by Jinx. I watched her the entire time. I barely saw Trinity.
Well, Trinity actually
was very bad. She was muted. It was a very
performer, and I don't.
Yeah.
Then she tried to rip off of Jinx, and it didn't really work.
I think Trinity was shocked that she won.
Yeah.
She wasn't prepared for that lip sync because even when they called her as a winner, she's like, "What?"
Yeah.
The whole thing with the whole lip sync to me was mad. Like that was probably the least entertaining lip sync of the whole season for me.
Yeah.
But
Jinx definitely won that lip sync.
Yeah, Jinx definitely won. She should have won. I have been saying this all season. Jinx is the smartest person in this competition.
Oh yeah,
she is,
and
she might be one of the smartest queens
ever on the
she's
show.
Up there,
she's the smartest and able to execute.
Yes,
yeah,
you know what I mean. So like some people could be like smart in the room, but just aren't able to execute it to brilliance. Jinx can do that.
Yeah,
no problem.
And she can also adapt.
Yeah, exactly.
She just can't sew. Jinx has a very strong chance, and she always does, right? Like, and watching her this season, because I loved season 5. It's one of my favorite seasons. Has some of the strongest queens. I think season 5.
Strong.
Yeah, season 5. I think we've seen almost every one of those queens back on All Stars. Like that's how strong that season was.
Wasn't there All Stars where there were several of season 5?
Yeah, there were like 5 of them in season 2. And like we've seen almost every one of the queens from season 5 back at some point or another. And I never really understood the vitriol for Jinx Monsoon that was coming from the other queens. And now I see it, right? Because if she was even half as good then as she is right now, where she had to really split the spotlight with 13 other girls instead of just these 8 winners. And she is shining so bright among the best
Yes.
queens,
Yeah.
right? Like they must have been in that room every day, like, how are we going to take her down?
Yep.
And then realizing that they can't and just being frustrated. So now I understand all the vitriol because I never got it. Like I always thought, like Jinx is so nice. She seems so fun. You know, why do they all hate her? And now I see why. Now I see why they hated her because they knew they couldn't beat her.
Yeah.
To be a standout on an all-stars, all-winners season is
It's
no
tough.
easy. Yeah, and she's doing it.
Yeah.
And making it look effortless.
Yeah.
Jinx, like with this season, like everyone has like memorable moments, but you for sure are gonna remember Jinx every like episode. And she's got a strong like case for the finale, you know, where she's won 5 challenges so far.
Yeah.
Right. She's been blocked twice. She has
And
the most
still has the most stars.
and still has the most legendary stars. So like that's like damn.
All right, should we get into the can do's and condones?
We should.
All right, well, let's start with can do's because I have a can do. I really enjoy the challenge of popping the balloons with the pit crew. My favorite thing that I want to call out is Raja, just because I love Raja. Because the way Raja took her hair down and she kind of shimmied and she was like, I haven't seen or thrusted a man in weeks. And she's like, let's go, the way Shea was like very gentle and was like, oh, is this okay? Are my hands cold? And then went pop, I loved it. That was probably the most entertaining thing next to the roast this episode. And they need to keep that challenge because they did it for season 14. And they just need to keep that in. That should be a staple moving forward. I love it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, my can do is also Raja. And I already talked about how funny she was in the beginning, and she carried that into the balloon challenge. She was just like something got into her. She was hilarious, but it was a small thing, and I can't remember. I think it was Shea who was like, "I'm gonna snatch your wig," and Raja was like, do it gently though, gently. Don't mess up this actual wig. That cracked me up.
Well, sorry to break the chain, but
nope. This is a Raja love fest.
All Raja.
Nope. My moment, my can do is Wintergreen. Like I loved the throwback to Wintergreen. I thought it was super fun. I would love to see more Wintergreen in the show because it was just so fun. It was fun for the queens. It was fun for the fans. And Wintergreen is super sassy. And it's so fun to see a man who identifies as heterosexual give in to drag and just enjoy being not what society has determined he has to be, right? And just enjoy himself because it's enjoyable to him, right? And not worry about standards or conformity. So Wintergreen is my can do.
I like now that we're getting into the multiple seasons of Drag Race now, that now they have the capacity to kind of really entertain the long-term fans and do these throwbacks.
Yeah.
Because like when he recited that thing for Kennedy Davenport, I knew exactly where that was coming from. And I was like, I'm done. I'm dead. I'm deceased. It's over, And so I love that.
And that was like Jinx doing the call back to that guy about Judy Garland.
Yeah.
You didn't kill me. You didn't kill me. It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
Love that.
All right, condones.
All right, condones is no more glow challenges unless we can all be present live.
Or if you
I can't tell you how exciting I thought that category was going to be. And then who was the first one out? Raja. I was like, oh no, this isn't going to transcend well on my TV screen.
Well, and if you're gonna do it, don't do it on the runway. Like do a different setup where we can really get like the full effect. But
that runway is too lit up. has too much busy background. It just didn't work. And those outfits were beautiful.
Yeah.
Their makeup was beautiful. Like everyone did well, but to see it on my TV screen, I was so underwhelmed negatively.
Negatively whelmed.
Negatively whelmed. There we go.
My condone, we already talked about, was Rouge dress. I was not feeling it. And I live for Rouge, gowns and dresses and fashion. And every week I'm always excited about what she is wearing on some level. This week, from head to toe, I just did not like any of it. And that's so weird. It felt so weird.
I guess my condone, there wasn't really much in this episode that I didn't like. I really liked this episode and was laughing. I thought it was great. I guess the only thing that was kind of a standout that I didn't like was Trinity's look. It was a miss. And, for Trinity, such a stunner, usually she turns the corner and it's gorgeous, at least. You're like, well, it's gorgeous, regardless if it's on brand or not, or on theme or not.
Right. You're gasping, period.
I think this was just, a miss.
Yeah, that was a miss. All right.
So we have one more challenge left. Assuming things go, and there's no huge twist. So we feel good. Jinx is definitely in the top 4. There's no catching up to her.
Yeah.
Jada and Trinity have a really good shot of also being in that final 4.
Are they the only 2 that have 3?
They're the only 2 that have 3.
Okay.
So who do you think is going to fill in that 4th spot? Who are the 2 next likely queens to potentially make it in the 4?
So we're assuming no disruption, no trickery. We've got Jinx, Jada, Trinity. We're going to assume that they're in. Is that right? And we have to pick somebody else.
Here is how I would like to see the world. And the reason I would like to see the world this way is because I personally believe these 2 queens have been consistently the best. Raja and Monet. Those are my 2 choices. I would like to see either of those queens in there. It's just, for me, they have been so consistent. They've been fantastic the entire season. And, they've brought us amazing fashion. They've brought us comedy. They've brought us fun and entertainment. I think they have been really, really consistently doing extremely well. And even on the weeks where they didn't win, there were almost always a case where you could have put either one of those people in the top 2.
What do you think, Joe?
Well, of course, Raja, hands down. I love her, and she's the reason why I continued watching Drag Race, So Raja for sure, and I agree, same reasons. I think it's no surprise that I may not say Monet for the second one. Although
not to anyone.
Although
I think
it has been picking up.
Yeah.
And she called it out too this episode as well. She's like, I'm just now, starting to ramp up a little bit. I could see Monet for sure in the top 4, easy. But how much I would love to say Shea, I actually am going to say my second would be Vivian.
I knew it. Yes. I knew you were going to say
Vivian. The Vivian for me has impressed me more than her season on the UK. And for a queen to come into America Drag Race and still do so well, I was really entertained. And on the weeks that she won, she absolutely killed that shit.
Yeah.
And her runways are always polished and always look good. I could see her really being an interesting variable in the top 4.
Yeah, I agree with, both of you really, but I think I love Raja so much, so I would love for her to make it. But the way that things are trending, I feel like Monet might make it just because of this late rise. She's going in the right direction and she's getting better and better each week, it seems like. Yeah.
She is.
So I think she could definitely, and I think she's going to do opera next week, judging by the preview or whatever, and that could really kill. If I think she's a trained singer, so she very much could win the star next week, and
very much so. Shea could really fuck things up too.
Yeah, Shea is a performer.
Yeah, so Shea could fuck things up, and if she wins and Trinity or Jada or Jinx win, then those other girls who have been sitting pretty with 2 stars better watch the fuck out, because Shea's like, okay, I'm back. It's over.
Yeah.
I'm attacking. And I love Shea throughout this whole season too. Her runways have been probably the most consistently entertaining.
Nope.
Like right up there.
Wrong E word. Her runways have been most consistently elevated. Like next level.
Yeah.
Next level.
But so have Jada's. But
yeah,
I mean,
and so have Jada's, but Jada has 3 stars.
But yeah, of the people that don't have,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Jada has 3 stars. But yeah, so all the queens can really make it to the top 4. Sadly, I feel like it may be hard for Shea to turn it around. It's like a very slim, opening he has.
I think Shea's out.
Yeah, and as much as I've loved watching Evie this season, like I've loved watching Evie this season more than her season.
Yeah, me too.
Like I have a newer appreciation for Evie. Definitely. I don't see her in the top 4, but I would not want this season without Evie.
No.
So,
yeah,
there's just, I mean, we say it every episode, but it's like everybody's so good. So good. I mean, you're trying to like split hairs really at this point, because I wouldn't, they're on the regular seasons, and even in some of the other All-Stars, it's like, I'm usually at this point being like, if XYZ makes it in, I'm going to be kind of mad, or I hope that so-and-so doesn't make it because they haven't earned it or whatever. But this one, it's just like, I mean, that's why this season has been so fun, because they're all so good. And it's just like, I'm not going to be mad at no matter what.
I don't care who's in the final 4. I know I'm going to be entertained.
I mean, I think Jinx, I will be mad if Jinx doesn't make it, but she's going to, because like she's just been.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, the great thing is that people making it to the top 4 are the ones with the best report card.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. And that's what we always want on Drag Race, We don't want someone to come in last minute, win one challenge, and all of a sudden are in the top. Because they won the right time.
Yeah,
This is where they have to win consistently they have to have a good report card in order to make it to the top. And because we've been a part of that journey, like we already know to expect, and we've accepted who is going to most likely be in the top, which is great.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad. The only time I felt really bad was Jada not winning last week.
The time I felt the worst was when Evie didn't win the courtroom challenge. That was when I was what? Yeah.
All right.
Let's wrap it up. Got it. All right. Let's wrap it up like a condom on the Well, thank you everyone for joining us once again for Condone Yourself. Please be sure to join us again next week when we are reviewing All Stars Season 7, All Winners, Episode 11, which is the final episode before the Lollapalooza. So this is our last challenge. Please also be sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Condone Yourself Podcast. And if you are so inclined, please send us an email at condoneyourselfpodcast@gmail.com. Until then, until we meet again, wrap it up, because that's what Kelly just said. And have safe sex. Is that what this show is about? No?
It's about condoning yourself.
Sexuate, masturbate.
And don't be the essence of beauty.
Or be the essence of beauty.
Because it's funnier.
It's beautiful.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.